Hi, I'm Brad Carlton, and this is Mike Davis. Today we're going to demonstrate the rhythmic principles that you've learned in this series by applying them to some basic grooves. You're going to learn how to build grooves from the ground up, including the drums and the bass. Now, I'll be explaining some things, Mike will be explaining some things, and you notice we have an overhead shot of the drums. So that's going to be beneficial for all of you to understand the different components, as I've explained earlier, of the drum kit, and how for rhythm guitar, you want to lock up with these grooves. Now, if you're not a bass player, I encourage you to get a bass and practice playing some bass, because it gives you a whole new viewpoint. You hear things differently and you get focused on the groove, and that's really what this is all about. Our first groove is going to be a straight eighth feel. Now, as you've learned earlier, you subdivide the quarter notes into eighth notes. So the first thing we're going to do is have Mike demonstrate a straight eighth groove.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right, now as you listen to him, you can hear how he's playing those eighth notes on the hi-hat. And my bass line is just an A note pumped right along with that. But let's say we wanted to change this, okay? Let's say we wanted to not have a constant bass line. There's nothing wrong with that, but if I want to have a different figure going on, and I know you're saying, wait a minute, I thought this was a guitar lesson. Well, you're going to learn about the bass line because your guitar part has to complement, sometimes lock up with the bass or play opposite it. I know that I have 8 slots in the measure. So if you look at his kick drum, he's going to establish a pattern, and he'll demonstrate just more or less the kick drum pattern, and then I'll lock up and open up my bass line. Because if I play constant eighth notes, it's great. It's a real sturdy sound, but I'm not leaving a lot of space for other things to come in. It's a different sound. So we'll demonstrate this. He's going to demonstrate the different kick drum patterns that you could play on this. Okay, now if you noticed, it got a little busier. That's because we're playing 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and dot, da, da, da. Why does that work? Because if you subdivide the eighth notes in half, you get 16th notes. So the groove that we're going to play here is going to be predominantly an eighth note driven groove, but we'll sprinkle in 16ths for some variety. Now we'll have a jam track that'll have 2 sections. So Mike's going to demonstrate as we play, he'll demonstrate how he'll lead from one section to another. And if you're not used to playing with a drummer, let's say you're an absolute beginner and you've got this course, you want to know, well, what's it like when you play in a band? The drummer's going to cue you when you go into sections. He'll play a fill. And our phrases are generally 4 bars, 8 bars, and we'll keep everything very symmetrical here. But he'll play a fill, and we're also going to open it up, have one little break where the drums lead back into section A. So we're going to play our little jam here and discuss the sections. Section B. Okay, so you saw how we had 2 different sections. Even though we've got the eighth note groove throughout the whole thing, we made it more of the 16th note funk thing on section A. Then I went straight to the driving 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and coming down with that, okay? So this is how you would build a basic track. Playing on top of this, you've got to find spots where what you play makes sense. We're going to go ahead and in the next segment give you the whole jam track.